So back on the Big Island, up now again in Kilauea, Pele asked each of the sisters to do a little errand. Only Hiʻiaka dared to say yes. For the mission of going to Kauai to fetch her lover Lohiau and to bring him back to her, she outfitted Hiʻiaka with a skirt and imbued it with power, supernatural power. And then the one who had supplied that skirt was told to go with her. Now, her name is Pa'opala'a, but she's really what I call the plant lady. She's not as much a human as she is a plant presence, and she does errands for Hiʻiaka. Soon into their journey, they were joined by another mortal woman who was offering a pig to Pele. Her name is Haʻenaʻumaʻu, and she becomes the best friend of Hiʻiaka, who confides in her, explains things to her, foreshadows the action which will come, which allows us as the listeners to share into the headset of a goddess talking to a human, to us. Novel. Quite a narrative device. So the three women go all the way across the Big Island, across Maui, across Oahu, and finally find their way to the northern end of the island of Kauai, at the beginning of what we call the Big Valley of Kalalau. Spectacularly beautiful. Let me set up the scene for you. It is dawn. The day is not a happy one. Everything is churning and broiling. The sea is angry and it throws its waves at the cliffs. The three women are standing. One, the plant one, goes away and is gone, so that the two women are standing, looking up, 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 up the huge cliff, the face spreading across as far as they can see, up, 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 until at the very top they see the shimmer of a cave. In the cave sit the two mo'o women, the lizard ladies who disappeared when Pele confronted them with the names of the winds. You remember, surely. The two women are looking. Why are we here? Because before Hiʻiaka and Haʻenaʻumaʻu could arrive on Kauai, Lohiau died. And these two mo'o up in their cave on the cliff of Keʻe have grabbed his soul and are controlling his bones. And they are the ones who prevent her from bringing him back to life, to bring him back to Pele. Oh, it is cold and damp. We are freezing at the cliff of Keʻe, at the base, calling among hope, hoping to hear, hoping that we hear the voice of the beloved man that we have come so far to hear. Hello, 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 hello. Are you there? There, there. I call. So cold, so alone. She's alone. She's freezing. Who cares? You can stay down there and freeze for all I care. Don't come up here. Don't even try. If you do, death awaits you. There's no one here to call to you. No one cares about you and your mission. Yet just say you were never here. But behind them comes a voice of Lohiau. Hiʻiaka, I am here, held in the cave. I am a captive. Come and save me. Save you? Oh, you fool. You shouldn't even talk to this wretch. Down at the bottom of the cave. We have heard the voice on the wind. The uttering wind has given us answer. He who we seek so long and has come so far to see, he lives, he answers, he has given us permission. Oh, I may die today, but I will try. I will do what I can to reach you. I am coming to you, dear man, to you. To you, dear man, to you. As if she had affection for him. He knows you not. And I dare you to come up here. It will never go well. Oh, come. I must ask you this question, and I quake before the answer. Dear man, man who has just left us before we could reach you, you on the other side of life, answer my question. Is there hope of life still in you? Do you live, and can you live? Am I too late? Oh, there is life. I am held a captive here in this cave in a small calabash, a shell enclosure. I have no warmth, I have no light. I am so full of sorrow and regret. Help me. Oh, dear man.
Oh, dear man. He's a captive. Oh, God, don't you try it. You will die.
Oh, dear man, not yet a husband. You who will keep me warm on the long nights. You who will be my ardent lover on the long cold nights. You whom I will confide in and be my friend with the coming of night. I come to you to bring you life.
Oh, life you have. You think you can give him life? He thinks he can give him life. She thinks he can give him life. You will die on this mountain, and we will be glad to be rid of you. I, for one, hope you come, because I will grind the bones of your aikane to dust with my teeth.
Your love and love for me is overwhelming. Come. Down there it is cold. Here is the warmth you crave. I am overwhelmed with your aloha.
Try it. You will die. Yes, you will die.
Hiʻiaka raised her hand and said, hear me. I have heard the words of welcome. The one whom I seek has sent me word. Bear witness. I declare it. I, HIʻIAKAIKAPOLIOPELE, am coming up. Lohiau, stay on my back. This may go poorly, but we will try. And she started to climb up the cliff, and then down came the trunk of a tree. Down came the boulders from a high. Down came a rain of boulders. Down came a trunk, and with the flash, with the skirt, and polarized up she went, climbing over, up to get to the top of Keʻe, halfway up. This is a labor. Stay close to me and stay clear of that skirt. She looked to the side, 3/4 the way up. The sun was obliterated. The storm was rolling in. It hit the cliff, and suddenly a torrent of water poured down the cliff and poured over them as if they were in a shower, in a waterfall. As she looked up, a boulder hit her in the jaw. Lohiau screamed. She looked up. There they came, the two mo'o diving down, mouths open to swallow them whole, fingers like knives scratched to the side. Deflected one, hit off the other. The mo'o fell onto the rocks. Their bodies were splattered, blood everywhere. As the tide came up and receded. To take the bodies away? No. Horror. For as Hiʻiaka looked down, she could see the bodies of the mo'o recongeal, coalesce, becoming one again. They were up the cliff. As they climbed, she said, Lohiau, if this goes poorly, look for a vine. The plants will take you to the ground safely. I wish I could take myself away now. You have so much impediment. These two biting and snapping at you, and me on your back. You are not a weight. If you were gone from me, it would be even more of an impediment. Stay close to me and stay clear of that skirt. I need it as a weapon.
Our ancestors say that today you die. Today you die. Our ancestors say you have no hope. Renounce your claim upon the man. He is ours. He is ours. And we will not let him up. So go back to that place you have come from and tell that other woman that he is ours. He is ours. Do you think I'm afraid of you too? You have thrown everything at me. I am still here. And I can tell that inside of you, you have a gnawing fear that is growing bigger and bigger and bigger, that it is not I that will die today, but it is both of you. Yeah! Yeah! They flung themselves on her. She kicked them off, flung them aside. They were back on her, and as she came forward, she unraveled her skirt, and a snap, 2 directions. The mo'os were exploded. They fell like a rain of flames down the cliff, and then recongealed and came back together. As they roll up the mountain, they came to the other side. We will let you live if you let us live. Renounce yourself. Go back to where you come from. I am not afraid of you. And now you will see who are the ugly ones and who perseveres in this battle. One came down, grabbed her by the throat, and held her arm back so she could not grab the skirt. The other one was working on the skirt, biting on the waist to try and get the belt off. She pushed back from the cliff, shook them off, took her skirt. But once again, they were blown to bits, came back together, and as they were coming up, she said, I am almost done. I have no strength. One kiss, perhaps one kiss. No! They grabbed her again. She grabbed the arms. They were held by the side. This is when the plants began to wind around their tails, up to their legs, up around their bodies, holding them in like a cocoon. The plants grew around their face and their eyes so they could not see, through inside their nose and came out their mouth. They could not breathe. Scraping away, finally on the side of the cliff. They came up the mountain again, but now there was a wall of greenery. They tore their way through it, and now they were upon her. She said, one more time. This is all I have. One more time. She hurled herself back, threw them off, grabbed her skirt, and like dogs had caught in a snare. Scraping, clawing, reaching, but there was no hoping. The skirt was too powerful, and the bodies of the moho were blown apart, disseminated, dispersed, annihilated, and sent to the very ends of earth forever, to the ends of time. HIʻIAKAIKAPOLIOPELE, with her magic skirt, had ended and vanquished the mo'o from the cliffs of Keʻe. But our work is not done. She crawled up to the cave. She looked. The clouds of the storm were disseminating, and there was the sun just about to touch the western horizon. She said, "Oh, great sun, our mission is that of love. We need light. Please give us just a little more of your daylight. Pause in the sky for just a little time." And the sun, hearing her request, froze in the sky. Into the cave, beautifully adorned. No time to tell you. There's the bones in a sack. Watch that. Lohiau, I am here. Where are you? I am here, Hi'i. Deeper, deeper. She walked back into the cave. I can see nothing. It's too dark. Deeper, deeper. I find it. The inky blackness. Ah. She knew she had found him. For there was a calabash in the gloom, and on it a rope and feathers, but arching over it in fluorescent hues was the rainbow, the soul of Lohiau. I have you. You have me. You are mine. I am yours. And the two women watched the sunset. Soon the vine came, took the small calabash with the soul and the bone sack down the mountain and across the distance to go to a
green rectangular building that was built the day before, 10 steps by 5 steps, as high as you can reach, surrounded completely in tea leaf, a healing plant. And then Hiʻiaka spread her skirt, and the goddess and the human embraced as the skirt descended to the ground safely, gently. And they walked forward to that green rectangular house where for the next 28 moons they would massage the spirit into the form to bring Lohiau to life. But that is another story. For the time being, the 2 stories I brought to you are now finished. The story of Pele meeting and bedding and wedding Lohiau, and the story of Hiʻiaka being sent to fetch him, finding him dead, and freeing him from the 2 mo'o. My story is over. Aloha, all pau.
You need a breather after that.
I've been waiting a long time to get that off my tongue.
Wait, we have a note here. Do we get the next episode later? Guess they'll just have to come back.
It gets hairy. It's an epic. It's, you know, the world is almost destroyed by the end of this thing. I would love to do it. First of all, I'm a haole and I don't speak Hawaiian, so that's already a big problem. But the story should be told, and they are not, at least not around me. And because the stories have gripped me, it's a compulsion and I think a duty to share them. I realize I am trespassing, I'm walking on thin ice, and that I'm a guest in a house that I am not part of, being the Hawaiian culture. And I work very hard to put my tongue and my limited abilities to the service of this huge epic story. Give me another 6 months. I'll get the rest of
There
it.
you go. Jeff, thank you again. Aloha.
Aloha.